Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, folks, welcome back. We're looking at completing the square, minimum, and maximum values. So we have here an expression. It's a quadratic equation. Actually, it would be a quadratic equation if you put an equal note on it. It's a quadratic function. It can be expressed in the form x minus a squared plus b. Find the values of a and b, hence state the minimum values of this particular function, this expression. Okay, now what we need to know that this particular what's in red is the format is called completing the square. So I'm going to show you the technique for looking at that. In order for us to use this completing the square technique, we got to make sure. Okay, let's pick a red. On red, please. Okay, you got to make sure that the number in front of the x squared. What's the number in front of the x squared at the moment? One. Okay, by default it's 1. You can't see it, but it's there 1. The number must always be 1 before you use this technique. If it's not 1, then you have to divide by that number everything to make it into 1. So just letting you know it has limitations. So this value here must be 1. Okay, now let's have a look. Let's copy it down. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 15. What we do here, we first of all, we copy down the x. As you see here, the x over here. The bracket. Now, we need to, the next value here, which is minus 6, we need to halve it.
Minus 3.
So that becomes minus 3. That gets, so this number here gets halved. Okay, gets halved. Okay, and then we put a square over here, as we have the square over here. So far, we made sure that the a value was 1, which it was. We copy down 1x. We halve the minus 6 to minus 3. We close the brackets, put a square there, as we see in the template here. This is the template. Now, and then I always write down the next bit. The next bit I call it the plus or minus adjustment. And I'll show you what that is in a bit. Okay, let's now multiply this part out to see what it gives us. So x minus 3 times by x minus 3. That should give us x squared minus 3x minus another 3x and plus 9. So that gives us x squared minus 6x plus 9. Now, if you look over here, what do we have? We have x squared matching with x squared. Minus 6x matching with minus 6x. Now, here's the part that we need to do an adjustment on. So this plus 9 has to be adjusted until it becomes a plus 15, because that's what we need to get. So when we expand our squared, that x minus 3 squared, we're getting a number which is less than what we actually got in the original equation. So plus 9 should really be plus 15. How do I make a plus 9 to plus 15?
Minus.
Add 6. Okay, so we add 6. Okay, that sounds good, better. So now I can rewrite this line over here, put on the top of here. So as x minus 3 all squared plus 6. So now this in red is now equivalent to our original expression. And it's already in the format that we're looking for. So the format that we're looking for is x minus a. And a is what we're looking for. Squared plus the b value. Now can somebody now read off for me what is the a and b value by putting them together like that? Can someone tell me what the a value is?
Minus 3.
So the a value is 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And the b value is? And what's the b value?
Minus 3, sir.
It's not minus, it's x minus a. So the a value is just 3. Okay, remember the template is x minus a value, x minus the a. So the a value, just literally read it off. It's already, look here.
Oh, yeah, minus 3. Times 3. What? She's so.
Yeah,
She's right. Yeah.
Okay, we're happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, because it goes x minus the a value. The a value is right there in front of you. Follow the template. Okay, so a is equal to 3, b is 6. Now, what we've actually worked out here is the x and y coordinates for what?
For the graph.
For the graph. So let's do a quick sketch of the graph. Okay. Now, so what we just worked out here, this here, x equals 3, y is 6 is actually the minimum point of the graph. How do we know it's a minimum point? Because the parabola is which way?
U.
It's like a U shape and it's positive, so it'll always be like that. So it'll be minimum value there. If there was minus x squared, then it would be a maximum point. Okay, let's now quickly sketch that. Let's get a brush. Okay, right. X equals 3. So 1, 2, 3. Y is equal to 6. 2, 4, 6. So what we just worked out here is for that function. Okay, I'm going to draw my graph. It's going to be slightly wobbly because it's a bit difficult for me to draw mine nicely. So please, can you make yours nice and... There we go. So this point here is the minimum point. So the coordinate is 3, 6. That's what we actually just worked out. That's why it's corresponding to.
So you do that when you draw a graph.
Because actually, what is the minimum value? What is the minimum point of the graph? So what you've just read here now, this 3 and this 6 is the coordinates for the minimum point. The A and the B value.
You have to do the graph.
Well, sometimes they give you the graph to actually sketch it.
You give you other points as well.
So you'll need a point, just point that point. Sometimes if it goes through the axis, they might actually work out the two x values where it cuts. So
if it's upside down like that.
That'll be when the x squared is minus x squared. So then that point will then refer to a maximum point. This is called.
The point's going to be there.
Yeah, it'll be there, yeah. So it'll be like that inside. Okay, are we happy with that one example there? So I'm going to look at one. I'm going to clear the page now, folks. I need to do one more question with you before I let you do some questions. Copy down. Okay, Mr. Saf's copied all down. Has everybody else copied down?
Yeah.
Samara, Ikra, Zoba, have you copied all down? Mr. Honey?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Alright, let's have a look. Here comes the next question. Okay, we have x squared. Add 4x. Okay, are we all paying attention, folks?
Yeah.
Right. So we have to express that in the format what? What is the format? Is x minus a whole squared plus the b value. Are you ready for that? Now, let's start doing the work. So what we say? First of all, we start with the x. Now we have to halve this plus 4. If you halve the plus 4, what do we get?
2.
Plus 2. We squared it. And then what we do, we said we're going to do a plus or minus a adjustment if necessary. So now let's multiply the x plus 2 squared to see where that takes us. So x plus 2, multiply it out. Okay, that'll give us what? Okay, so that gives us x times by x times by 2. Okay, plus 2 times by x, plus 2 times by 2. So that gives us x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 4. So that simplifies, ladies, to x squared plus 4x plus 4. Now, okay, right. Right, now let's have a look what matches. Ikra, x squared matches x squared. So far that's good. So far we multiply that, we're getting the similar terms. We got here plus 4x, Ikra, that matches the plus 4x.
Yeah.
Now let's have a look what doesn't match. Now we've got from our squaring part a plus 4, but we should really get a plus 10. So we need to adjust the plus 4 with our adjustment in order to get our plus 10. So what will the adjustment be then? At 6. So let's have a look. So let's type that in again. Let's write that out. So we can write it out as x add 2 whole squared add 6. Now, we have to read off the values now. Remember, the a dash b from here will give you the coordinates of, in this case, minimum, but it can also give you the coordinates of the maximum depending on the function. If, for example, if you have a minus here, Then that would be the same numbers will be now the maximum point. Okay, now what is the easiest value to pull off here is the b value, because plus b value, the b value is actually what? 6. Now the minus a part here will be equal to what now?
Minus 2.
That's right. So let's write that down. So minus a is equal to 2. But I don't want minus a. I want to work out the value of a. So what do we do? How do we work out the value of a when we know what minus a is? We have to divide it by minus 1. So don't forget minus a is actually minus 1a. Don't forget minus a is really minus 1a. So we divide it by minus 1 both sides. So now we get plus a is equal to minus 2. So remember this part here, you have to make this part match this part. So the minus a is equal to plus 2. So we worked out then from that what the a value was. So if you wanted to do a quick sketch of that. Okay. Right, let's have a quick sketch of that graph. So minus 2, so we could say here minus 1, minus 2, and it's going to be 6 up here. So minus 2 along the x and 6 along the y. So 2, 4, 6 is going to be over here. So our graph is going to look like something like that, for example.
Is that the minimum?
That would be the minimum, yes.
How do you know?
We know it's a minimum because when you look at the x squared is positive. It has to be a minimum. It has to be minimum because the x squared is positive. If x squared was minus x squared, then it'd be negative, then the graph would be upside down. Then that point will refer then to a maximum. So
It is minus 2. I'm confused.
okay, no, hello, x squared here. The x squared, is it positive or negative? Positive. So our normal parabola goes like this, isn't it? Yeah, so what are you talking about? That minus 2 is just giving us the coordinates. I'm talking about the direction of the curve.
Oh, yeah.
If it's an x squared curve and not a minus x squared curve, then the parabola always goes like this. Always. So the minus 2 is just telling you where about the minimum point is on the grid. That minus 2 is not telling you it's negative, it's just telling you the coordinate of the minimum point. Okay, now we've got about 10 minutes left for you to try some questions. I would like you all, for example, for me to try for me the second question on the sheet and the bottom question here. Okay, look. Try this question here. Hello, this one and that one. Everybody try those questions. This one, the minus in and now the plus in it. Off you go. I'm going to pause the video here. I'll stop it actually.
It's too hot.